Walker took them up. Comes back to Fuster. Needs a release. What is that? Hand passes directly to Corey. Riccardi's away. Runners either side. Goes to Pavlich. 40 metres out. Lines up. It gets the goal.
Well, Troy Simmons came off the ground for kicking one across goals that landed out in the full a few minutes ago. I would imagine that Chris Connolly will not be too tolerant of an errant handball like that.
You big
Fuster, off
Lee
he
Walker
comes.
out on the ground, the former Collingwood player, now Dockers runner, and interchange takes place. That was just an incredible blind spot. He must have handballed to the voice without looking, and he picked out the wrong jumper.
I think he was coasting a bit too, and then suddenly heard the call, you're hot, you're under pressure, get rid of it, and he panicked it and handballed.
Well, the real mistake was he didn't chip it for Walker initially, otherwise he was away. Would have alleviated the problem.
Once again, Simmons hit it to that exact same position. Dennis and his own men were in the spot.
Pavlich, Kingsley, nicely worked. Rodzinski, Corey, spears the pass in. Graham's got it.
Costly hit by the big fella, isn't it? I mean, well, we've got the shot on goals now, but gee, if he hadn't handballed that one in the centre, I just thought Freo had just taken the edge there, the ascendancy, and suddenly in the space of 90 seconds, the Cats are going to put on 2 goals.
Absolutely.
Big Brendan Fuster, what a turnover.
Graham, he missed one from a little further out.
Not this time.
No, that's straight through the middle. So in the last 60 seconds of the term, the Cats have kicked 2 goals, and the scoreboard from their perspective looks a heck of a lot better. Quarter time, 4-2 Geelong, Fremantle 2-1 at Skilled Stadium.
Individual requirements with hundreds of home loan offers.
And over the past 20 years to become recognised as one of Australia's finest producers of quality small goods, our passion and commitment to quality remains unchanged.
If you got good name, good quality is everything.
Isn't it time your family...
AFL coverage is proudly sponsored by Holden, Drive On, Primus Telecom and the Navy, Army and Air Force.
This way, it will be a beautiful day for the young Cats. At quarter time, it's 4-2, 26 to Fremantle, 2-1, 13, and created a couple of goals for themselves out of a turnover late in that quarter to give them the 13-point lead. We see here Brendan Fuster, heaven knows where he was trying to handball that one to, and the Cats just swept it down. Gary Ablett Jr. had been on the ground for about 6 or 7 minutes before he found himself on the end of that one. And in the end, he got amongst, well, pretty well everything for the last couple of minutes, and a good pass inboard by Joel Corey just to rest the ascendancy there. Ben Graham kicking truly right on the siren. And they go in 2 goals leader, or just a touch better than that. There was a pretty even quarter there. Michael Roberts is down on the boundary line.
Thanks, Dermot. Glenn Kilpatrick has already taken his boots off. It's a left hamstring, so unfortunately his day has finished. Chris Connolly said that they were taking an extra handball, extra kick, and cramping themselves in holes, leaving their forwards out of position. And I spoke to Gary Ablett Sr. up in the stands before, as you saw, and his main concern with his boy was he needs a haircut.
Well, if he's like Gary, in a few years' time, he won't need to cut it. Let's not put that baldness thing on him, though.
Like dads everywhere. Hazelby falling to the ground, holding the ball short. Belated whistle. King with the free, starting his second term. 4-2 players 2-1. Stephen King has been good. There's out wide. Kingsley. Well, a little apprehensive coming to that one. Scramble. The ball eventually jarred out of there. Hazelby wins the crawling race. Wojcinski takes him down, stealing the ball Riccardi, but not in time. Lackluster start to the second term.
They'd be pleased with Bartels, though. 10 possessions. He's playing up on Jeff Farmer around the midfield and at the centre bounces, and he's getting a stack of the footy.
Looks a real player, doesn't he? Riccardi charges through, taken high. Advantage will be paid. He kicks it down towards left half forward. Good rap taken out there by Kingsley. Deceptive customer.
193 centimetres up against Coops, who's pretty good overhead too.
Coops, his overhead skills tested on the mark that time. Riccardi charging in, tied up. Coops wants a free. Pavlich falls on top. Another ball up.
187 centimetres, Stephen Coops, and as I said, Kingsley 193. So 6 centimetres, or roughly 2 inches in the old book. Well done. Watch the ball.
Bounce on the outer side meantime. Close to the boundary line. Out of bounds on the full from Farmer. Bartel. Another possession. Wonderful last week, particularly early against the Saints. Centering kick. McManus stays out of the contest wisely. Pavlich came up, took the mark. Enormous talent. Lays it off. Farmer to Cook. He's a left half back. Decides to run. Nothing much on offer. Still Cook. Kicks it very high like an up and under. Carr knocked on by Brown. Brilliantly taken. McManus to Bell. Should be a goal. Peter Bell scuttles away. 25 metres out. And I think he's missed.
Gutsy effort there by Lee Brown, running back with the flight of the ball. Can you believe Cameron Ling's chase there? I mean, he was blessed that Bell pulled that one, but Cameron Ling gave up on the chase then.
Bell has been a wonderful player since crossing to the Dockers. The one blemish is his finishing, particularly in that situation. He's missed a few in the last couple of seasons. Corey towards the wing. Kingsley juggles the mark.
He's just about best on ground, Ken Kingsley at the moment. He's finding plenty of it.
Hard man to match up. Mobile, can take a mark close to the boundary line. This is Corey. Cook. Oh, that was a little too easy. Corey stepped around Cook. Kicks inside the 50. Off hands Burns. Open goal square. Will it bounce? No, it clears the line. Wonderful skill.
My grandmother can kick longer than that. Kick it straight up the guts. Sweet. Oh, how big is it, umpire? You should be playing in the Magoos, you clown. Your career is going down the toilet.
The football isn't the only place to have a cheap conversation. Choose Primus Telecom and you'll score cheap phone and internet rates. Call Primus Telecom on 1300 85 0000.
Get off him!
Ronnie Burns, 17 career goals against the Dockers, including 6, round 6, 1997 on this ground. Play restarts, and Fremantle missing their chances. Geelong making them pay. King out of the centre only as far as Coops. Sends play out towards left half forward. Brown hesitates. Storming down was Farmer. Well played once, twice. Got the hand pass away. Cook in trouble. Emerging with an Ablett. Hand passes straight up in the air. Brown hasn't got it, surely. He'll get the free kick. Lee Brown about 65 metres out.
I reckon he blocked out the daylight for Wojcinski then, or was it Milburn, and he couldn't see.
That fell on him.
He couldn't see whether he had the ball or not and had to tackle him.
Brown, Carr from behind. Medhurst could have been taken high. Farmer. That goes about 15 metres. This could be play on. Riccardi spilled it in any case. Corey heads for the boundary line, and it goes out. Well done.
Just get the feeling that the Dockers are playing fairly reactive footy at the moment. Geelong are making the moves. They're making all the play. They're just not quite as confident in themselves as they were 7 days ago.
Boundary throw in. King beaten by Brown. Bartel had it a long time. King takes it off Corey, kicks towards the boundary line. White, awkward half volley. Jones has got it now, comes back towards the middle and Bell. McManus breaking for him is Carr. It goes in that direction. Riccardi got a fist on it though, knocked it to his own advantage. Riccardi goes after it, and and sockers it out with little pretense out of bounds on the bounce.
That is perhaps the most dangerous kick in footy, when you square the ball and it goes to a contest and you've got the whole ground open. If Riccardi had been able to intercept that, that was just bang, bang into their goal square.
Margin 18 points. King. Yes, well done. A little too easy too as he kicked down towards half-forward. Kingsley again kept it going. McManus off the boot of Seagate. Pushed in the back was Coops. He'll get the free kick.
They've definitely got a problem in the ruck today, the Dockers. Fuster and his counterpart Simmons have had trouble containing King.
The problem is King is very good, isn't he? Carr goes back, knocks it out wide. Medhurst running out of space. It's out of bounds.
But when they try and play off him as well, when they've won it, they've just turned it over. Medhurst on the ground. They just need to create a half chance here. The Dockers get the scoreboard ticking over again.
So Mark Thompson looking for his 24th win in his 50th match as coach of the Cats. King again worth a kick up towards the wings as Riccardi goes towards half-forward, too wide, out of bounds on the full.
And I think the negative tactics on Riccardi is almost a barometer of the Dockers. Everybody's prepared to stand by him when the ball's not in the territory, but they're giving him a 3-metre break each time the ball comes there, as if their thinking is just a split second behind.
Seagate at centre-half back, out of bounds on the full. Now free to the Cats, one to Fremantle.
When you look down the ground there, everyone had vacated the corridor, the centre-half forward post, and that's where the kick should have gone. That was safer in the middle then.
Kingsley sends it back in. Jones heads for the boundary line. Grover on the assist. In the right back pocket sends play up towards right half back. Pavlich. Hope his dad Stephen is enjoying the telecast this afternoon in SA. Hope close to 150 games for West Torrens. Hazelby's got it now.
That's what he's looking at. And you wonder why he won't go straight.
Second out of bounds on the full for the Dockers, and suddenly they're coming unglued. That was a terrible kick from a good player.
Well, they're just handing Geelong the knife at the moment, so do us in.
Plenty of advice. Let's go down to Michael Roberts.
Yeah, there's with all the turnovers in the brilliant sunshine, the front of the jumpers and the back of the jumper, there's a lot of white. So sitting here, it actually is confusing with the crowd in the background.
The Dockers will take that. Brown kicks it up towards the wing. Scholl. Still Scholl. They missed him. Looks for Milburn. He's got plenty of support. Stayed on his feet. Bill tried to knock it away. This is Harley. Kicks inside the 50. Brilliant kick. Pavlich. The juggled mark about 35 metres out.
I guess the only problem with the defence council's argument for the Dockers is that only one side is confused by the colours. Geelong don't appear to be getting confused at all. They look as if they're finding their targets, Robbo. And I reckon that it was a fair attempt at an excuse for the Dockers, but they're disappointing at the moment.
What about those colours combined with jet lag and or bus lag? Will you wear that?
Yeah, I think you're getting close to the mark.
I'm working on it. Here's Ablett. Should kick it. Very handy late in that opening term. Steadfast kick straight through the middle.
They're here. 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 They're everywhere. The police are out in force, in booze buses and cars, to target drink drivers. And they'll be tough on anyone who blows .05 or over.
They require you to accompany me to the police station.
So the margin out to 24 points now. Dangerous time for the Dockers. They've certainly self-destructed, and now their confidence is suddenly sagging. Out of the middle, Hazelby inside the attacking 50. Rook comes up though, another youngster, takes the mark, plays on. Harley out towards left half back, runners to choose from. Goes to Corey. All happening with a great deal of ease now. Lord on the outer side, stops. Now he goes, pulls it back towards the middle. Ablett stays out of the contest. Graham up in front, knocked down by Grover. Seagate upended. Coming through Grover, McManus lays it off to Parker. Out of bounds on the full by Shane Parker. Oh,
Well, if any of you have seen football, Harry Carey, the Dockers are giving us a display of it in the first quarter and a half.
There's Scholl. The hand pass from McManus to Parker needed a follow-up Shepherd. Very token effort came. Great mark, Kingsley.
Well, a big rap for this boy's game today. He's had 11 disposals, lining up for his 12th, but more importantly, he's taken 7 marks. And he's just a little bit too big in the body for Stephen Coops at the moment. 6 centimetres taller and a fair bit of weight behind him as well.
And if Dennis was Mike Williamson, one of the great callers of the 70s and 80s, he'd be saying, I tipped this because he warned us of this ability beforehand as he comes in and kicks a goal.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm locked out.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem. There's a young lady in there.
That's my girlfriend.
Is this your car, sir?
No. It's my Cherry Rye. That's my Cherry Rye.
Yeah, just watching the tape last week, the Saints certainly couldn't get the matchup right against Kingsley. He was very, very busy early in the game. Kicked 6 goals on debut for the Kangaroos. Off hands, McManus goes out wide, forced forward by Cunningham, close to the boundary line, pitches, stays in. Bartell, slick hands away. Corey, Wojcinski gathered it well, tackled. Again, the Cats with the numbers. Good work from Longmuir. Eventually Cunningham across to Brown. That's better for the Dockers. Kicks inside the 50. Crowd is up. Couldn't hang on. Now Scholl spots Lord. He's on the wing. Aaron Lord's away. Running down towards half forward. Graham wants it long. Now he doubles back. Meantime, King to the pocket. Wide of the mark, it bounces out of bounds. Michael Roberts.
Yes, the versatile Matthew Pavlich off the ground. He copped a real whack, got injured, and they've taken him off for about 5 or 10 minutes.
That doesn't help.
Their other problem is that Fuster just went up into the ruck, and when he came down, he grabbed his groin. Now, I'm not sure whether it was a strain or a knock. One's more painful than the other, but one takes 10 minutes to get better, the other 2 weeks.
Fuster driving down. Ablett twisting, turning, comes to Ling. Sigurd got him. Ling is about 40 metres from goal. Ablett comes again, brushes Fuster aside. He's in the grasp, goes to a knee, got it across to King. His hand pass close to the boundary line, taken by Burns. Upended was Clark, it's still in. Fuster runs back towards the middle. McManus gets away, goes across the goal front. Now a chance for Cunningham on the outer side. Cunningham's away, 1 bounce, comes back towards the middle. Bell into space. They've got this spare man. This is Jones pushing up towards the wing. Long kick towards half forward. Scarlett got a fist on it. Trapped out there. Trying to lock it in. Justin Longmuir. Arriving very quickly was Milburn. Scarlett, Ling. Another run of Riccardi. Good challenge from Cunningham. But weight of numbers tell the story. Clark gave it back to Riccardi. Bartell goes by hand to Lord. Gets around a would-be tackler. And his second. Interesting bounce. Almost like a dribble in basketball. Now he snaps and misses to the right-hand side. Wasn't a bad build-up. Strange finish.
He really wanted the big teeth of the goal.
Free kick coming here to Jeff Farmer. Jeff Farmer came in and shoved Aaron Lord. Lord responded, and Jeff Farmer has picked up the free kick some 50 metres out. Not happy with himself, Aaron Lord.
Does the score count?
Yes, they waved the flags.
Yep. And I reckon Brendan Fuster, he just got a hit on the lid before. So he's been up and running around. That was better by the Dockers. Down in this back pocket, they worked hard to retain possession then and dispossess Geelong.
Farmer.
Sorry, Dennis. I reckon they've got to get Trent Croad into the middle of the ground or somewhere where he can put some body on. They need a bit of a shake-up here, Geelong, and the Dockers need a lift.
Walker gave it to Carr. It sets it high, but not a good kick. It wobbles down towards full forward. Foster, uncontested in the end, takes the mark. Goes towards the outer side, and Clark. He's at left half back to Corey. Dropped an easy mark. Tries to paddle at Goldwood. McManus comes away. Still McManus. Tackled by Riccardi. Bartell's over the footy. It's coming back to Cats free. will be taken by Peter Riccardi on the outer side.
They're playing individually now, Freo. They're playing for their position. They're not telling each other how much pressure they're under in that situation. McManus should have been warned there was an oncoming player.
Riccardi goes for distance. Fuster reaches over the top of Kingsley and takes the mark. Brendan Fuster on the outer side wing. Geelong 7-3. Fremantle 2-2. Just over 9 minutes till half-time. Real challenging time for the Dockers now. They need some goals. Fuster, long bomb. Brown works in front. Off hands. Riccardi. Did he have the footy? McManus grabs it. Kicks it down towards the pocket. Chopped off by Milburn. Surprised by the lack of pressure. Takes a run. The second bounce is going up towards the wing. Now, I do think he had some problems there with the jumpers as he kicks it close to the boundary line. Out of bounds on the bounce. Has he been knocked off for going too far?
Yep.
I think he has.
I think you're being a bit kind to him, Dennis. He just didn't have any options. He overcommitted with the run. He knew he was getting to that 15-metre limit. Wanted to bounce, wanted a handball, had neither option available.
Well, Cunningham liked it anyway. Goes short to Carr.
That short kick there, I mean, I know it creeps you forward by 20 metres, but all it does is still allow numbers to get back inside your attacking 50, Geelong's numbers, and just clog it up.
Carr with a high kick. Yes, plenty of defenders back. Harley got a first on it. Burns cleverly. And out they run to Ling. Through the centre square, kicks towards half forward, turns the ball around. Nobody inside the 50. Leading the race back was Jones. Fuster in support. It's 2-on-1 for the Dockers. Graham, the one, did very well. Jones hurriedly onto the boot. It comes out towards Walker. Now he can settle. Steadies. This is Carr up towards the wing and Crode by himself. Runners inside. Needs to move it on. Well, Crode stops proceedings. Now he goes for distance. Sets it up inside the 50. In from the side, Harley. Too tall for Longmuir. Plays on immediately. Comes out to Milburn, right half back. Milburn spots a man on the wing. Bartell is looking for Kingsley, and why not? Fuster, with courage, goes back and takes the mark in front of the leading player. Brendan Fuster, left half back. Looks for Brown, spots him.
That's a good solid lead from centre half forward.
Cunningham on the overlap to his lookalike, Medhurst, 55 metres out. Goes back towards the middle. Troy Longmuir with a target. He takes the mark. Directly in front. Now he wants to play on.
Now that's not play on. That's a wrong call. He didn't deviate off the mark.
Umpires have played it that way for a long time. I agree with you, Tim. I've argued that with them, but you blink an eyelash now or an eyelid and you get called for playing wrong.
Well, he took the arm back to hand pass, and the reason he wanted to go initially was Pavlich had run on and was in the goal square by himself. It was pointed out by a teammate, and justice seems to have been done here because Longmuir has finished up with a free kick.
See, he hasn't deviated off the mark, and that's just wrong. That's just wrong. It's just too eager, the umpire, to...
Well, how has he finished up with the ball in any case? He wasn't the tackler there. There is justice.
He didn't pay the play-on rule, so no, there was no advantage.
Oh, what he's played. There goes the kick from Longmuir, but he's missed.
I tell you what, he needs his brother to get into it, Justin Longmuir. He's disappointing at the moment. He's staying too deep in attack. He's not coming up to the half-forward line. He's not offering himself to the back line when they're under pressure, at least anyway, and saying, here I am, I'm a target, presenting, kick it in my direction.
7-3, plays 2-3. McPhee from the kickoff knocks it down in front. This is Scarlett from half-back towards half-forward. Jones, how will it bounce? Awkwardly for him, taken by Ablett. Didn't take the ball cleanly though. Grover to Coops. Wanted some time. Now Parker squares the ball. McManus inside the centre square. Spots Pavlich. Coming up hard is Scarlett. Not in time.
That's
Pavlich
50.
has taken the mark.
That's 50. He's taken him down after the mark, and he had players on then.
Pavlich inside the 50. McPhee almost a mark, I would have thought. Medhurst stopped it well enough. Surrounded by Cats. Riccardi breaks away. Interesting kick. The ball spilled out. He got a boot to it. Parker. Tackle. Jarred out of there. Ablett stood up in a tackle. Coming through. It's taken by Mooney. Back to Riccardi. He's been very good this afternoon, Riccardi. Puts it high towards half forward. Over the top. Graham. Falls to Clark. Slick hands intended for Scholl. Good use of the body. Kingsley at close quarters. This is Ablett, runs inside the 50, run down by Parker. How will it bounce? Wrong side of the post.
He obviously, just the awareness, the encroaching tackler from behind. Just the awareness of how much time he had. Probably could have got a better call from his teammates as well. Let's go down to Michael Roberts on the boundary.
Yeah, just to compound Glenn Kilpatrick's hamstring, David Wazinski's had his right ankle looked at. He's trying to warm it up and down the boundary a couple of times, but he's in pain.
McManus took a risk. Bell took the mark.
Haven't scored a goal yet this quarter, the Dockers.
There's Jones. Prods the ball to Parker. Plays on to Bell. Lucky to get away, Bell. Fuster on the end of it, still short of the wing.
Gee, they're going very short, aren't they?
Absolutely. 7-4-2-3.
Now, this is the kick which has got to be a target from a centre-half forward presenting here. He's in there too early, so it's a big pack.
Chambers almost the mark for Geelong. Found it on the ground. Goes to Bartella, was taken high. No free kick. And now the players wait for the whistle almost. Justin Longmuir, very, very quiet by his standards. He was the man who was making the lead to that last Fuster kick. In fact, he's off the ground now.
Doesn't surprise though, Dennis. He's a great talent, as we know, but still waiting for him really to impose himself. He's got a lot of building up to do in the muscle department, but seems only totally interested when the ball's in his direct zone rather than working to outside of his zone.
Walker is in there somewhere. Another ball up.
McPhee's ducked out the back door of this one. Just see him on screen, running inside 50 there.
The Dockers certainly could do with a goal. Not a good record, as you saw. Corey got a boot to it. Ling knocks it down into the path of Clark. Well done. Clark probing kick towards the 50. Mooney across the face of a dueling pack. He was free and found the footy. 55 metres out, unloads. Long kick, it's a goal. How about that?
They're working really hard here from the defensive 50. Finds some space in the open. Spears out a slick hand pass. Oh, champagne football. They're away again. This is beautiful to watch.
What a Carlton, thanks.
He couldn't believe he got straight through to me. He thought he'd get a computer.
If you'd rather speak to a real person, call Amy on 13 22 44.
Not only a goal, but straight through the middle. Yeah. Sideways. 8-4-2-3. Rucks go at it. Wide of the pack. Scholl charges in. Crowd, though, slips it away to Farmer. Runs to the 50. Pretty good 15. Nobody back on the goal line. It's a goal. Farmer out of the middle like Quicksilver. Margin 31 points. 8-4, 3-3.
Pavlich and Lee Brown both in the centre bounce there.
Approaching half time. Brown, clean possession. Hurriedly boots it down towards half forward. High bouncing football taken by Milburn. Casual hand pass. Troy Longmuir got a hand to it. Spills wide. Eventually with Burns now. He got it from Clark. This is Riccardi on the wing. Hooks it down towards half forward. The Dockers need to hold. Well, Kingsley again has marked about 40 metres out within range.
Well, your man Dennis has provided a real spark for them. It's still a crucial time in the match for both sides. If Geelong can kick another goal here and another one, they can just about close the game up. But if Fremantle can hold on and kick a goal, they're still in it.
Kingsley gets the goal.
Well, the Dockers gave us a goal a few seconds ago, and that was their first goal for exactly one quarter. The 24-minute mark of the first quarter was their Their second last goal, and you think, well, is that a chance for them to work their way into the game? But Geelong just answers straight away.
It was too easy out of the middle.
Oh, simple, simple. Lee Brown, he's the ruckman at the moment, just didn't get back deep enough.
9-4 plays 3-3.
Pavlich into the middle, along with Simmons. They're throwing it around a little bit, trying to get some of their better players into the game.
2 goals for Kingsley. 2 minutes to half-time. High bounce. Neither ruckman touched it. McManus did well. Pavlich at close quarters. Bell away. Walker, high ball down towards left half forward. McPhee, good chest mark. Eyes only for the footy. They're surrounded by Geelong players.
Worth a try pushing this kid forward. He's very talented. Not having an impact up forward, so down back, I should say. Swinging around.
Carr, they'll contest about 15 metres out. Off hands, down in front. Farmer would have been better taking the ball. Bartell throws it on the boot, and from Farmer, in a moment of magic, has a chance for something good to happen to the Cats. Burns around the outer side. A couple of bounces. Striding out. He's got it on the wing now. Variation, the touchdown. That's it, wow.
Good variation. Needs to go back to the drawing board for that one.
Crone's away. Too much of a good thing from Ronnie on the outer side. This is Crone. Spots him out towards the middle. In fact, 2 of them. Medhurst. He's got strong hands. Nobody back, so he has to hang onto the footy and maybe take a shot from here. I'd venture to say he's too far out.
Pavlich is pushing for him.
Yes, running back towards the goal square. Now he goes to the pocket. Not sure about the angle. Props off Milburn. That's a great mark. What a great mark that was. Harley was coming back hard, and Pavlich simply took his medicine.
Their forward line just been dysfunctional, though.
Yep.
And that's why it's been good to throw this kid forward. He's
actually ruck roving at the moment, Jared. He ran forward then.
Excellent work. He's one of the most natural forwards, young forwards in the competition. And to emphasise the point, Geelong into their forward 50-13, Fremantle 13. They just have not been able to find people to bring it in with enough purpose to set a forward up. I think Justin Longmuir hasn't provided the contest up there.
I have to say, too, that Tom Harley didn't look back for the footy there. Pavlich, 35 metres out. Yeah, that took the wind out.
Ronnie Burns taken from the ground. I think if half-time wasn't so imminent, it is obviously now. Jeff Farmer could have well been benched for that 1 in a million shot out of the air.
Matthew Pavlich, after the siren. Late goals, the order of the day here at Cardinia Park. And he's hit the post. Says it all. Certainly says enough. But the major break, Geelong on top then. 9-4 to 3-4. Hard to imagine, just 60 seconds before quarter time, the Dockers right in the contest, and then everything came unstuck. The major break, 9-4 to 3-4. Geelong clearly on top.
A lot of days where I break down and cry because it hurts. It hurts a lot.
Monday.
I just sat there. I thought, God help me.
A current affair to the rescue.
You do have a cry, like it's not over yet.
Aussie battlers turning tragedy into triumph.
It's amazing, yeah. More than what I ever could have expected.
An inspiring story of hope, courage and determination.
It's just great, fantastic.
Rebuilding broken dreams, lending a hand. Nissan presents A Current Affair Monday.
All she was worried about was losing her rating 1.
Held a rating 1 for the last 3 years and your insurance company wants to take it away? Call Amy. They'll give it back. Lucky!
Thanks to Heinz Baby Food, you could have the chance to win $1 million. 5 lucky people will win the chance to select the one Heinz Baby Food jar from this wall that has a $1 million token under it. To enter the draw, collect 5 barcodes from any Heinz Baby Food and mail together with a completed entry form to this address. For more details and an entry form, go to forbaby.com.au or your local supermarket.
It's got to be perfect. Too many people take second best, but I won't take anything less. It's got to be, yeah, perfect. It's got to be, yeah.
Worth doing? With Dulux Wash and Wear 101.
Solo, low on fizz, so you can slam it down fast.
When you choose to buy Australian-made or foreign-made, you're deciding if jobs will stay in Australia. You're deciding if our factories will stay open. You're deciding if Australian families will be secure and if our children can grow up expecting a solid future. You can be certain it's Australian-made just by looking for the Australian-made logo.
Electrolux Steam, the healthy way to clean. The Steam glass cleaner cleans windows and mirrors and sanitizes all surfaces using environmentally safe steam. The steam gun is totally versatile. Its easily attached accessories are perfect for difficult jobs and hard to reach places. The multi-steamer too has handy accessories. It mops. It cleans and sanitizes without chemicals. It even cleans the car. Electrolux Steam for a clean, healthy home.
Can you move down a bit?
Tim?
Frankie? Move over, Freddo.
Freddo?
Make Friday night a Freddo night.
This AFL coverage is proudly sponsored by Amy, Cadbury Dairy Milk and Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL.
The Cats are purring along at half-time to the tune of a 26-point lead, 9-4-58. Fremantle, 3-4-22.
And here are the goal kickers, Dermot. We'll check your maths very shortly, but Junior's got 2, Kingsley's got a couple, Ben Graham, along with Riccardi, Mooney and Burns have all got 1 apiece, and at the other side of the page for Freo, Jeff Farmer's kicked a couple and Trent Crode has just got the 1. They might have dropped them off by 10 points or so.
36 points, I think it is. A 6-goal lead to them as well. Let's take a look at the highlights. Ken Kingsley's played at centre-half forward and led up the ground pretty well here, Jared, and he's been a very good get-about for them. A hard matchup, as Dennis Cometti has said. We've got Cameron Mooney coming across the front here and bombing a long one, the best contested mark getter in the league at the moment. And here we have Peter Riccardi on the flow through as well. But they've just had many avenues to goal here. Kent Kingsley, as I spoke of, he's been pushing up to the centre of the ground and, as you saw then, works back with the ball when it's coming in.
Yeah, and he finished on Lee Brown. You saw there on his second goal that he just had too much mobility. But Gary Ablett's a huge name in footy, as we all know, and his boy, Gary Ablett Jr., has burst onto the scene. Started on the bench. Lots to talk about him in the Addy, evidently, during the week, and he came on and... he's a very good shot at goal from 35 to 40 metres out. He really has missed in his short AFL career. And here's another one. I think Dennis was pretty pleased with this one. I think he might have even given us a Jack Little with it about how about that. But he enjoys watching the youngsters come through.
Beautiful. What about young Bartel? He's played in the midfield. He's got 9 kicks, 7 handballs to half-time. He's found plenty of it.
Well, just to repeat Frank Costa's speech prior to the match, the presidential speech, we're here for the long journey at Geelong. Plan A is to play the kids. Plan B to refer to Plan A and always hold your nerve. And there is no Plan C. And why would there be with kids like this James Bartel? 16 possessions, as you said.
Clean hands?
Very clean hands. He's a one-grabber. He's most creative He's a hard worker. He gets first possession. He can also work outside the packs. Haven't seen him kick a lot of goals, but he's often just setting them up with his hands, and he's always on the move, perpetual motion. Where's Mark Bairstow's old number? Doesn't look a hell of a lot different to Mark Bairstow, but very good skills and lots to look forward to with a number of the kids coming through for Geelong.
Bomber Thompson wouldn't like us showing that ISO camera on him because it showed him forward of the play a fair bit there. So look, he will be one who they can sweat on in future games, but he does find the ball. He's a bit of a ball magnet. You've had your little board out as well at half-time.
Well, just getting back to where Freo are falling down, they've won a lot of the clearances. And here they are, they're setting up once again. But if you're going to bring a new person into the middle, everybody's got to know what you're about. Jeff Farmer's there, and he should get to that same spot. Simmons goes up, taps the ball exactly to where it is. But Bartel, he's too smart. He would have seen the ruck clearance tape from Freo from last week, and he's come in and he just snaffles it and takes it away. So Freo winning the tap, but Geelong getting the clearance.
Let's take a look at the match stats. What do you read into this? I suppose the major discrepancy there is the clearances down on the bottom. 18 to Geelong and 13 to Fremantle.
Yeah, and you compare that to the centre breaks, where Freo are winning the centre breaks, but once King can get in there and put body on body and probably get first use of the footy, they're dominating the clearances around the ground. But there's only one stat at the moment that would interest Mark Thompson, and that's the one on the scoreboard.
The 36-point lead. Well, after the break, we'll be back with the former Fremantle coach, Damian Drum. You're watching AFL on 9.
Everyone's missing their families.
Only 6 survivors remain. Just 3 episodes are left. How far will they go for $500,000?
Gotta wonder.
And don't forget to find out how you could win. Survivor, 8:30 Wednesday on 9.
My grandmother can kick longer than that! Kick it straight up the guts! Sweet! Oh, how big is it, umpire? You should be playing in the Magoos, you clown! Your career is going down the toilet.
The football isn't the only place to have a cheap conversation. Choose Primus Telecom and you'll score cheap phone and internet rates. Call Primus Telecom on 1300 85 0000.
Get off him!
Next time you visit your local Coles,
look out for a change we've made. These.
You'll find hundreds of them right across the store.
So, what does everyday low price mean?
Well, it means extra savings more often. Because all these quality, everyday low-price products
are at great value prices every day.
So when you notice a change here,
you'll also notice the change here.
Is the good bacteria found in many products really effective? Today, Brand Power looks at Yakult with 65 years of probiotic experience. Compare Yakult's unique Lactobacillus KCI Shirota strain with a strong Acidophilus strain. Many Acidophilus don't reach your intestine where they're needed most. The Shirota strain in Yakult does, increasing good bacteria and decreasing bad, all in each delicious serve. Look for Yakult at your supermarket. Brand Power, helping you buy better.
Lost in this dream forever.
At Coles,
look out for a change we've made.
Right across the store.
All these quality products
are at great value prices
every day.
So when you notice a change here,
you'll also notice the change here.
The votes have been counted.
The outfit's chosen.
And the excitement is building as Australian television prepares for its Night of Nights.
Join host Wendy Harmer for the 44th Annual TV Week Logie Awards, 8:30 tonight, exclusive to Channel 9.
Cameron Mooney and Ken Kingsley leading the charge of the young Cats there. Half-time scores here at Skills Stadium. 9-4-58 the Cats. 36-point leaders over Fremantle Dockers, 3-4-22. Ablett 2, Kingsley 2, and for the Dockers, Jeff Farmer has 2. Well, gives me great pleasure now to welcome a man who played plenty of footy down here at the Cats. He was here for about 10 years and then he went over and coached in Fremantle. Good afternoon, Damian Drum.
G'day, Dermot. How you doing?
I'm pretty well. Have you gone out of the fire into the pan, or vice versa, out of the pan into the fire?
Yeah,
Bendigo,
no,
you're the coach of now, and they're having a tough time of it.
Yeah, no, it's a tough program to get the VFL up and running up in Bendigo, but the people of Bendigo are warming to the task, and it's a good program.
No one could ever say you haven't taken on a challenge.
Well, I mean, when we went to Sydney, you went up there too, and it was pretty tough up there.
Yep.
And Fremantle was tough, and Bendigo's in the same vein. But again, if it's worth fighting for, then the cause is well worth it.
Are you a better coach now than when you started?
Without doubt. I mean, when you finish playing football, you really do think you know it all.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And when you go into coaching and make a few of your own mistakes and get a few things right, then it really does make you a better coach.
And hindsight, here we see you coaching the Fremantle Dockers there. Hindsight there, what might have you done differently given your time again at the Fremantle Dockers?
Probably looking back, I think I had to be a bit more aggressive when I first went to the club.
In what way?
Maybe take more players out and bring more players in. I know I probably, I wasted that first 12 months seeing what we had, and then we made wholesale changes at the end of that year.
Yep.
And it probably just put the rebuilding program 12 months behind what we ended up doing, and I probably fell short by 12 months in bringing the talent through, and so I suppose in hindsight that's something I might have done.
Did you get a chance to choose between Collingwood and Freo at the same time?
Yeah, it was a nice couple of days there, Dermot, having to think about which job to take, but in hindsight again, Shorey, I thought Shorey did a great job coaching Collingwood, and I think...
tough times, weren't they?
Well, he just didn't have the talent, So if I'd taken Collingwood, well, I would have been taken on a wooden spoon team that Collingwood were that year, and then, in Mick Malthouse's first year, which might have been my second, Collingwood lost, something like 17 of the last, 15 of the last 17 games. So again, they could have been my 2 years at Collingwood.
What about the Fremantle Dockers now? They've got wonderful facilities over there, and people keep saying what they need to do to go right. What are some of the pluses that Freo should build on? Because they do have some strengths. They do have a few strings to their bow.
Yeah, I think today you're seeing some of their talent that's not actually coming to the fore. Like Justin Longmuir is a real talent.
Yep.
Now he's not playing that well today, and it's hurting their structure up forward. But they've got to build on the Pavlich, who's now going back and taking the most dangerous player in the opposition's attack. Now that's fantastic for them to be able to do that. Hazelby, and Cook and Bell are creating a dangerous midfield. So I just think that when they start winning games, and they inevitably will start winning games, then they'll build a culture like a Port Adelaide have been able to build. And then it'll just feed on itself. But it's a unique little town, city, Fremantle, and they have an opportunity, not unlike Geelong, where a community has an opportunity to have a team in a national competition. I don't think we should ever take that for granted.
Well, Drummy, we wish you all the best. You've got Bendigo on your hands now. That's a pretty big task for you. You're a wonderful man in footy. We hope you stay here for a while, and let's hope you make it back up into the big time again soon.
Whenever. Thanks very much.
Damian Drum. Well, it's half-time here at Skills Stadium. It's the Cats by 36 points. We'll be back after the break.
Tonight, when sufferers of cystic fibrosis were looking for a helping hand,
how could we refuse?
Can the Blitz team build a fun-packed garden without looking like a bunch of clowns?
Hurry up, you guys, we're running out of time!
Backyard Blitz, 6:30 tonight on 9.
First time I fired a live missile was the biggest buzz of my life, having this $75,000 missile just sitting on my shoulder. It's all about hand-eye coordination. I've got all goosebumps and the adrenaline starts rushing, and then you fire and then you hit the target, and it's just like the best thing. You're actually doing your job and what you're trained for. That is the best feeling in the world, when you can say, I know I can do the job, when it came down to the crunch.
so you can slam it down fast.
Reese, part of every great Australian bathroom.
Wouldn't losing weight be so much easier if someone else did all the work for you? Well, with Light and Easy, you can have it all done for you.
Since starting Light and Easy, I've lost 43 kilos and I feel fantastic.
With Light and Easy, you can enjoy delicious, healthy meals, fully prepared and delivered to your door.
I never felt like I was on a diet because the meals were so delicious.
Call 13 15 12 and experience the Light and Easy way to lose weight.
13 15 12.
At Kmart AFL headquarters, this replica AFL game ball
is just $24.99 each.
And this adult half-zip polar fleece top is only $29.99, save 10.
Until Sunday.
Kmart is the home of low prices.
Autumn comes alive at Crown with spectacular live shows and luxurious escapes. With quick, easy dining and a world of entertainment. With its magnificent promenade, the place to be in Melbourne is Crown.
Is there anything you can bring to the house?
All you need is a pan and McCain stir and serve, with tender chicken included, for a complete meal.
So are you a chef?
Monsieur. Simply stir and serve. McCain, you've done it again.
By the way, insure with Amy and you can get new for old replacement, as well as fast settlement on claims.
Tonight, 7 o'clock, the makeover results of a pink palace.
It's absolutely new.
And feel the serenity as a fabulous country retreat is up for sale.
With the undulating hills, I'm training myself to the bed.
Location, tonight on 9.
Well, he came on just before quarter time. He really was a spark as far as the Cats were concerned. The major player in their lead as we are about to commence the third term. They're up by 36 points, 9-4 plays 3-4 as we go down to Michael Roberts.
Yes, so just picking up on what Jared was saying, Stephen Ick, they're having trouble. Stephen Ick was saying freeing up blokes running out of the back line. That's a real trouble for them. Geelong have caught on to that. State of Origin football, it's like that because there's about 100 Fremantle supporters behind my right shoulder. That's all the motivation they've got to go on. So they are struggling in that department. I'm not overlooking here, David Wadzinski is still struggling with that right ankle and he's starting on the bench.
Thanks, Michael. Start of the third term then at School Stadium. Geelong in control of the game, it seems. But the Dockers certainly in the first term had their moments. 9-4, 3-4. Bad bounce. Longmuir, that's Justin, knocked it down to Bell. Gets through. Hand pass is intended for Hazelby. Couldn't control it. Scholl tackled by Hazelby. Held to him, says the umpire. And we'll have a ball up out towards right centre wing for the Cats.
Well, as we saw, Longmuir starting in the ruck. Simmons is starting at full forward. So Longmuir had a shocker in the first half. He's got a chance now. He's probably as much ruckman as he is tall forward. Let's see what he can do.
Scholl again. He's been busy this afternoon. Sends the Cats down towards the half-forward line. And the mark is taken by Mooney. Ghosting across in front of a couple of players. Jostling. Bartell's kicked down towards the pocket. Kingsley could have been held. And again, dragged off it. Graham couldn't control it. Knocked out of there by Fuster. Charging in was Coops. Into the back of a Geelong player in there. It's Bartell who'll get the free kick.
Yeah, I thought your man was a bit stiff there, Dennis, not to get the free kick, Kingsley. But Bartell, we've seen him get a couple of possessions already in this passage of play. And he gets a chance to go back and kick a snag.
Exciting young player. Not a bad spot. Gentle breeze coming in from right to left. Far goalpost would be the way. Bends it back right to left. Perfect.
My grandmother can kick longer than that! guts. Sweet! Oh, how big is it, umpire? You should be playing in the Magoos, you clown. Your career is going down the toilet.
The football isn't the only place to have a cheap conversation. Choose Primus Telecom and you'll score cheap phone and internet rates. Call Primus Telecom on 1300 85 0000.
Get off him!
So the margin out to 42 points now. Interesting talking with Damian Drum at the major break, checking the goal scorers. Neither of them. Palmer with 2 and Crode the other. Played when he was coaching. Would have liked them as the ball goes out of bounds at right half forward.
That was just the second goal in his career for James Bartel. This time kicking it with the wind. The Sea Breezes come up and gives Geelong a real advantage here. They've got a lead. They're now kicking with a breeze. It should get a bit stronger as the quarter progresses, and they could go in 10 goals up unless the Dockers can find something.
Hazelby gave it to Farmer to Seagate. Pulls it back, intended for Bell, tried to juggle it. Hazelby storming through, hands very slick, taken by Pavlich eventually to Cook, upended as he tried to kick. It goes wide, takes a Geelong bounce, set Lord up beautifully, breaks away, runs onto the footy, goes looking for Burns, and he's taken the mark. He'll be more circumspect this time. Well, as circumspect as he can be. Gets the kick across to Scholl, who stops on the 50. As if it were a speed hump, and then he sends it inside the 50 with a terrible kick, but Riccardi goes back and takes the mark on his chest.
Well, they're ready to put their head on the block and get guillotined off Freo. If they can let somebody kick one off the side of the boot 50 metres in the air that only travels 35 across the ground, and a Geelong player gets to it first, inside attacking 50, that's pretty slack.
Ronnie Burns coming from the ground. We'll get some information from Michael Roberts shortly. But the other end of the ground, they tried to split the eye of a needle with a little poke pass to Bell.
And Lee Brown was pretty ordinary below his knees too.
Peter Riccardi is accurate from 35 metres. Ronnie Burns came off with a bit of a hobble too, didn't he?
Yeah, we'll find out what's going on there in a second. It looks like Michael Roberts is on the scene down there.
Yes, he's got 4 doctors around him, and he's rubbing the left thigh, so he's had a corky. He's in a bit of pain, lying on his back.
Well, let's hope the Dockers can show something here. Geelong certainly have come to the party, and they're showing all the promise they suggested they had last week when they gave St Kilda a bit of a belting. This, I think everybody estimated that this was far better opposition, and they're doing a similar job on them. Freo just haven't turned up to play today, which is a bit disappointing.
Geelong by 48 points, knocked down by Justin Longmuir. Cook gives it to Bell. Bell goes down towards half forward. He'll direct it. Awkward bounce down there for Milburn, who appear to be pushed in the back. There's no free kick. Gets it out to King, falling to the ground. He scrambles a kick towards the underside wing, taken by Ling. They're all there again. He chips it up. Bartel's got it. Bartel, terrific. Kicks down towards right half forward, and the mark is taken by Wojcinski, sliding in, troubled by a bad ankle in the first half. Made light of it there, quickly to his feet, to the pocket, and Harley within scoring range, and the alarm bells are sounding double time for the Dockers.
Well, it was 36 points at half-time, the difference. It's now out to 48. We're only inside 5 minutes of this third quarter, and it could get into the 50s quick smartly. Well, Trent Crode is standing back in the middle of the ground, and Grover stands the mark here for Tom Harley, but Trent Crode's man is having the shot.
Sharp angle. Tom Harley deliberately in. Hits the post. Flush.
It's always a big worry, isn't it, when you travel a couple of thousand kilometres and you've got a young team. For some reason, young teams travel the worst of any.
On the other side of the coin, though, Dermot, it's worth asking right at the moment how good this side is. They've done a great job off the ground at Geelong, but it doesn't look as if their on-field performance is going to be tracking too far behind. They've been most impressive. They're going to have some downers, obviously, but this is an exciting side to become part of.
Walker combining with Parker, advance the ball to half forward. Foster taken too high by Farmer.
Well, that's the domain of the centre half forward there, and it was good ball movement. It was probably the best ball movement the Fremantle teams had for about 40 minutes, and no centre half forward was there to supply the contest.
Foster from half-back sends play towards half-forward. Grover. Good grab. Ghosting in from the side.
He's a little bit also, Jared. Grover, he's not short. He's 187 centimetres. So for a side of the ground type player, a flank player, he's got a bit about him.
Jones got it from Longmuir. Kicks it down towards half-forward. Cook. Well, Cook into space, intended for Medhurst, relying on a favourable bounce. Obviously, they didn't get that as Riccardi comes away. Through the wing, Mooney's got it. Fuster is going back. Open forward line. Suggests he'll go to Graham. Well, Fuster got lost in the shuffle down there. Comes to Graham. Dragged off at will by Justin Longmuir. Picked up by Grover. Away to Walker. The danger has passed momentarily. Walker to Cook. Now Cook can take it and go. He can run to the 50 and have a shot. He can run inside the 50. Needs to hustle a little more. Riccardi, good chase, got him. They compete about 5 metres out. Harley slides in and knocks it across the line. Well, sometimes you've got to hustle.
Well, you know what was appalling there? When he got to about 55, his last 5 paces, not his fault, he's sized up, no one's running towards him. There were 4 Fremantle forwards running to the goal square. No one had the bravery to run at him and demand a short pass inside 50. Let's go down to Michael Roberts.
Yeah, a couple of corkies here. Lee Brown having his work done on the boundary line, and Ronnie Burns was that bad. They've raced him, gone up the race into the dressing rooms to work on his.
So the Cats may have paid a price. This is King in short. Clark to Ling. In the centre square, Ling towards half-forward. Coming on the lead is Graham. Almost like a training gallop, this one. Graham has marked about 55 metres out. Major interest here. Will he take a shot and will he get the distance?
Yeah. We are going to find out a bit more about the Cats next week. They take on Brisbane Lions up at the Gabba on Saturday night. And they'll be a little bit weary, I reckon, the Brisbane Lions after a loss against the West Coast Eagles, but a 6-hour flight. You're backing him, Dermot?
Oh, for the distance.
Ben Graham hangs it out to the left. Out of bounds on the full.
Still is his massive kick, wasn't it?
Coops to Hazelby. Plays on. Seagate on the outer side. Can take it and go. Bit iffy. Sells himself into trouble. High ball down towards Troy Longmuir. Had it fisted away. Well played by Milburn. Charging through with Simmons. Outnumbered close to the boundary line. Wojcinski comes across and helps it out.
Now, Seagate evaded the tackler from behind there. But as a forward, you hope that someone like Seagate with the ball then accepts it, sprints on, cops a push in the back, but kicks forward, because you lead yourself out of position, and that's why the backman got to the Freo forwards when they got on the end of the Seagate kick eventually.
Bell and Tardy handball. Walker taken front on by Lord. The ball not coming out, so we'll have the ball up.
It's a real indicator that a player doesn't have confidence in his own pace if he does a U-turn to evade a tackler coming from behind.
11-5 plays 3-5. Geelong in control. Walker simply dropped the footy out there. Justin Longmuir put it back in. Eventually Clark emerges with it, kicks it down towards half-forward. Jones got a fist on it, reaching around Mooney. But unfairly, says the umpire, perfectly positioned, so Mooney's got the free about 65 metres from goal. Normally a thumping kick, Mooney. Just centres this one. Kingsley in behind, going back with courage. Pavlich takes the mark. Intended for Kingsley, that kick.
Good mark. You look at all the Dockers players, they're all running backwards away from him. Nobody actually runs at the Dockers ball carrier or the holder of the ball at the moment and demands it.
Oh, Fuster towards the middle. Poor choice. Corey to Lord. Graham going back. Pavlich over the top. Needed a fist on that one. Tried to mark. As a result, Bartel, the prime. Wing is taken around the legs and will get the free. Well, Fremantle with so many problems.
Peter Bell, he slipped down. He's a bit stiff there. His body actually jammed the feet onto the ground. The tackle goes around the waist. Oh, and the right arm gets him low.
Wonderful endeavour.
Only 13 possessions to Peter Bell so far. That's down on what he would want. Cameron Ling, he's had the 9. Good endurance. A relatively big fellow.
No time for that kick to go back to centre-half back. Really put the defence under pressure. All out of position. Needed to hug the boundary. And now the price is paid. Cameron Lee.
The Duracell Alkaline Battery, long-lasting with lots of bite. Duracell Copper Top, long-lasting alkaline.
Cameron Lee getting his first goal of the afternoon. He's had 10 possessions. 12-5, 3-5 at Skill Stadium. Just a pretty day. Charging through Cunningham, missed the footy. Mooney. Corey over the ball. Ling, that's better. Digs it out to Mooney and kicks down towards half forward. Bill directed. Coops swings it out wide. Cunningham, he can take it and go. One bounce, runs through the wing, pulls it back towards the middle. That's better. Troy Longmuir. That's the spot for him.
He's been the only one that's presented himself forward of the centre, Troy Longmuir. And he'd be the least likely if you looked at the Dockers forwards, well, at least the way they started in their lineup. First bounce.
Troy Longmuir just inside the 50. And this kick just tails away to the right of behind.
Well, Michael Roberts, Ronnie Burns looks to be almost okay.
Yes, Jared, they've taken him into the dressing rooms and done some magic to him because he's warming up. He's still favouring a little bit on that left side.
There's Corey on the wing. Lays it off. Harley. There's a poster to his
Free
name
kick
in this
at the
tour.
other end of the ground.
Fuster hanging on to Riccardi, was it?
Oh, there's a hold. 100 metres away. 100 metres away.
Fuster hanging on to Graham. What can I do, says the umpire. You were holding it.
Hayden Kennedy's got a smile.
They're all smiling.
Well, that's terrible. It's just turned into a pleasurable afternoon for the Cats, isn't it? And that's would hurt the Dockers, that would hurt Chris Connolly.
Lovely weather. Graham puts it through.
Series 2 for the driver in you.
'83 plays 24. Third term at Skill Stadium. And Chambers getting his chance against Longmuir. Longmuir almost stood on the ball as he came down there. It's going to be a free kick. Justin Longmuir to take it. Pushed in the backs of the umpire to Bell, scooting around the back. Past Chambers, alongside the centre circle, kicks down towards half forward. Pavlich goes back, does well with the body. Longmuir nicely done to Farmer, but Farmer's kick way off the mark with Pavlich calling for a hand pass back towards the middle.
Ken Kingsley's come off the ground and Mitchell White gets another crack.
Well, it's days like today, Dermot, that if you're playing in the opposition, in the losing side, you wish somebody would invent the mercy rule.
High ball at half-back. Corey from behind. Knocked it down in front. Clark. Hand passed into an oncoming player. Bell to Walker. Hurriedly gained about 15 metres directly across the ground. Longmuir picks it up. Falls over. Got it to Walker. Well played. Walker's kick concedes a couple of metres. And he found support on the outer side. Fumbling is Cunningham. Cunningham goes in short. Mark is taken by Carr. 75 metres out. Sets it to the pocket. Leap down there. Medhurst knocked away by Foster, who followed up brilliantly. Foster gets a hand pass away. And around the outer side, they clear the zone. Mooney kicks it up towards the wing. Mitchell White, the former Eagle, came hard with Parker and was content to knock it out of bounds.
Yeah, they're going to have to really work with great application now, the leaders of the Fremantle Dockers. They're just hanging in there at the moment mentally. If they just drop off another 4 or 5%, they'll get beaten by 15 or worse goals.
Haven't had too many clean hands on the ball in the last 5 minutes or so. There's been a lot of double takes, triple grabs, or going without it. You saw once again there, Carr got first purchase on it with his palms. Went to stand up without it.
Number 42 for the Cats is Paul Chambers. Tall young player, goes up, beaten by Pavlich that time. Close to the boundary, Scholl tries to feed it back, taken by Carr, hurriedly onto the boot, bounces right on the 50-metre line. Coming through is Milburn, and he was collected on the way through, taken high, he's going to get the free kick.
Yeah, he got the hip of Pavlich came through there. That's a collision, and it is a tough game.
And Milburn, a tough hombre, is very slow to get up.
Pavlich actually went for the ball there. He's got the palms pointed down, with their fingers pointed downwards. He was looking to gather the ball there. That's incidental contact. And if you actually look at that last angle we saw, if you actually look at it, his opponent held him up.
Well, the doc there, Hugh Seward, he looks a bit concerned.
They haven't just called for the stretcher, and you think they might have.
Well, they played on, haven't they? Riccardi kicked it to Graham, he kicks it to Mooney. Well, probably the doc is such a good judge of footy, he knew the ball wouldn't be down there long. Sorry, cheap shot.
It was, Dennis. Behave, you've got to go home.
You're not far wrong. Seen a lot of footy, Hugh Seward, too.
I'll be waiting at the airport for you, Dennis. Along with those Eagles fans who know that you tipped them to come last.
A moment of madness. John Worsfold is doing a heck of a job. Here's Mooney. It's a square up from 40 metres out. Probably one a week. He kicks the goal.
In Timor, you know, we'd drive down the road and the kids would run out and they'd wave at us. So we thought we'd do something good for them and give something back. Found an orphanage that was one of the poorest in East Timor and made swings for them, chairs, tables, made a seesaw, which was good. They'd never seen one before and, you know, dug it in and the kids loved it. And I tell you what, it makes day.
14-5 plays 3-6. Just under 7 minutes till three-quarter time. High bounce. Justin Longmuir.
Good stuff.
Very athletic. Spears the pass intended for Medhurst. Had it knocked away by Foster, who missed it on the deck. Milburn is off the ground too. That's Corey battling in there. The hand pass came out from Mitchell White. Kind of bounce his way through was Wojcinski, and holding the ball is the call against him. It's going to Troy Longmuir.
That's the best desperation the Dockers have shown in the second half so far.
Longmuir from 52 metres out. Didn't get the distance last time. From longer range, splits the middle. Belated goal.
Well, that's what's been missing, Dermot, hasn't it? Right from probably halfway through the second quarter, the possessions have been up, but the desperation that split the Tigers open last week has been absolutely absent. And they play a hard-working game, the Dockers. Their skills demand that they do that because they give the ball back, so they've got to really work in numbers, and they haven't done that today. They've been shown how to play good footy by Geelong, who are in a similar position. Youngsters coming through, but youngsters today on their home ground just doing it much better.
Chambers and Longmuir will go at it again. Justin Longmuir's done very well in the last few minutes at the centre bounces. Up he goes, directs it down to Cook that time. Bell onto the boot. It wanders down towards half forward. Pavlich trying to get there, didn't arrive in time. Wojcinski goes to ground. Pavlich over the ball. Wojcinski to get the free.
Well, he was a bit lucky to get that one whilst the intent was there. I don't think he hit him.
No. Play on was the call. Harley did very well, and so did the cameraman.
Oh, well, that gutsy effort by our cameraman there.
It's called a close-up.
Here's Harley. Down towards half forward. Clears Coops and trickles across the boundary line. 89 plays 30.
Bit dishevelled.
Might have to go down to Michael for an update on the cameraman.
Yeah, Andy Lytle is okay. Didn't drop the camera at all. He's kept it nice and steady on Darren Milburn, who tested his neck, held a couple of fingers up in front of his face. He's okay.
Well done, Andy. They're only worth 130,000, those cameras.
There's Clark. Back to his own goal, to Lord.
in trouble.
Ling, look out. Troy Longmuir didn't hold the tackle. Ling goes short, not 15. Clark's got it, 75 metres out. High ball, Mooney could almost got a free. Going back is Carr. To the outer side is Justin Longmuir. The kick goes in that direction. He's got it now. Cunningham is breaking for him. Walker back towards the middle. Too high. Clark charges in, collides with Walker. Ball ricochets across to Ablett. Quick hands to Clark. Two players from famous sons, or fathers rather, as the kick goes inside the 50 from Corey, but ill-directed. The mark is taken by Coops. Fuster. Got it to Cunningham at left half back.
Well, Gary Ablett Jr. has already done something better than his dad. He's had 28 handballs. That one's made it 28 for the year now. I reckon that's more than the old man had in a career.
Cunningham drives it up towards the wing. Loose ball at the back. Scholl tries to back out of trouble. Succeeds. Gets a hand pass away. Harley at close quarters. Wojcinski along the ground. Ablett again. No pressure on.
Another
to
one.
the middle. Clark. 60 metres out, half blanketed by Grover. Ricochets inside the 50. Mooney's got it now, lays it off. Clark deep in the pocket, pulls it back.
Ling.
They compete about 5 metres out, but almost took an unkind bounce away from Ling, and Parker scuttles away. Used all of his 15 up towards Farmer. Farmer's outnumbered. He came at the ball strongly. And they'll have a ball out. And applause, I think, for players of both teams there.
Cameron Ling, he's a pretty smart player. We saw him just get befuddled there by the bounce, but I'm impressed by this one, Dermot. He knew someone was coming, just dropped the arm, braced himself, took the tackle, and got away. He's got that low centre of gravity, and he's going to be a tough cookie to bring to the ground.
King thumps it down towards half forward. Grover stands tall, boots it back to the wing. Missed there by Corey. And the ball spills out of bounds. Awkward one for Corey, in as much as he was in the shadows and the ball was coming quickly out of the sunlight.
Things like that, Joel Corey there, opposition coaches would look at that. When you say, well, how can a coach spend hours over videotape? You'd look at that and you'd say, well, if I can get a match-up when we play Geelong at some stage and get Corey one out in a goal square, we might get one goal out of it. So that's an area he's going to have to work on now.
Ablett kicked it down towards half forward. Kingsley. White. Ling with the kick. Hangs a long time in the air. Oh, great mark is taken by Coops, and that hurt.
He's pretty brave when he gets in the air, Coops, isn't he?
Yes. Good aerialist too. To Bell. To Cunningham. McManus on up the ground. McManus with Scholl bearing down. Wasn't the best of kicks. Showed too much of the ball to Scholl. As it turns out, McManus straddles him, hooks it around the corner. Parker, the defender, has pushed up to left half forward. Pavlich is on in the middle. That's ignored. Goes a little deeper. Carr's got it. 60 metres out. Matthew Carr sets it up. Longmuir down there, fisted away. Forward of the pack, Ling couldn't control it. Medhurst did well. Spills across towards Harley. He's on top of the football. Medhurst on top of him. In fact, Medhurst up very quickly, having a lot to say, and will have a ball up.
Once again, selfish footy by the Dockers. Carr had the ball, and he was 55 metres out. He went for the long bomb. 5 players ran to the goal square thinking my teammate Carr will kick for the goal square. One player led up inside 50 at him. If he had a kicked it to him, he'd have taken the most simple of marks, 35 to 40 metres out.
Almost three-quarter time, 59 points the margin. And the Cats bring it away once more. Ablett, the crowd favourite, kicks it up towards the wing, taken by Lord. Ablett runs on. The kick towards half forward. Mooney couldn't complete the mark. Cunningham, been busy in this term. Goes to Pavlich alongside the centre circle. Lays it off. This is Jones.
It's been all right, Pavlich.
Simmons, metres in the clear. Can take this mark on the 50 and play on. He should kick a goal 45 metres out. Well, he tried to kick it too hard. It's loose off the outside of the boot and goes through for a behind just.
He just lost his technique. Didn't try to go through the normal motions. He tried to really give it a bit of a whack, and he just didn't perform the function properly.
Milburn back on after that heavy knock from Matthew Pavlich. Ben Graham to bring it in. Goes for distance and why not towards the outer side. Simmons misjudged his leap. Scrambled forward by Harley. Down towards Lloyd. Or rather, Lord, who stayed brilliantly on his feet there. Wonderful balance. Came back to King.
That's the difference.
White.
That's the difference, Dennis. See, from 75 metres out, it'd be so easy to think your teammate's going goalward, a 60-metre bomb. Instead, Mitchell White runs straight at him, and he's got a kick, and the man on the mark's inside 50.
Mitchell White will take his best from here, 53 metres out. Gives it a ride. They'll compete a couple of metres off the line. Played against the post by Coops. Inside the last minute of the third term. 90 plays 31. Wonderful balance by Aaron Lord on the outer side there.
He's actually running pretty hard now, Lordy. Worked out this side before that.
Yeah, two Dockers fell over in that exchange. He stayed on his feet and they almost got the goal. Seagate surrounded. He took a lot of time. Robbed of the football. Lord, the man we spoke of, chips inside the 50. Awkward half volley for Riccardi. Coops tried to soccer it, then slapped it on. Brzezinski got a hand in there, knocked it Geelong's way. McManus goes back, deeply back. Fuster still has the courage of his convictions. Goes by hand to McPhee. To Cunningham, getting some space in the midfield. Not so much that time. Corey was there, intercepting the hand pass. Milburn obviously has a clear head. He kicks inside the 50. It's marked down there by Mooney. Over the top to Scholl. Scholl kicks the goal.
Well, that turns it into a 65-point margin, and they're kicking them from the back pocket now, Jared.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad enough as if their forwards were kicking them, but they're coming down from the back pocket now.
They're all lining up, and just having a look at the major possession winners for the Dockers, you can see why Geelong's just giving them the belting that they are. Cook's had just 13 possessions, Bell's had just 17 possessions, Hazelby only 13 possessions. They haven't had anybody really that's had a lot of the ball.
No.
Even Bell has had 17. He's below his average.
They've got to be high possession getters, don't they? Really high, because they do turn it over occasionally. That's the nature of their game.
I think today that would be described as an understatement, the turnover rate.
Oh, is that it?
I think that's a premature siren, isn't it? We had 4 seconds showing on the clock.
Went early and thought we might as well go with it anyway.
Well, why not? Three-quarter time, 15-6 to 4-7. It's a rout.
Derek Humphrey-Smith. Here's Humphrey-Smith. Goes into the rest of his team there. 65-point margin in favour of the Cats.
You've been watching too much TV. You've had here's Humphrey and Banana in pyjamas.
Who's got baby kids? We can all tell. James Bartel is the leading possession getter on the ground. And it is the Cats by 65 points here at Skills Stadium. We'll take a break and be back with the fourth quarter after this.
Monday, an unmissable friends.
With the irresistible Brad Pitt.
I think it'd be better for my ego if we didn't stand right next to each other.
And the unbelievable secret.
Just take off your shirt and tell us.
The sexiest friends ever, Monday on 9.
At Kmart AFL headquarters, this replica AFL game ball
is just $24.99 each. And this adult half-zip polar fleece top is only $29.99. Save 10.
Until Sunday.
Kmart is the home of low prices.
Is there anything you can bring to the house?
All you need is a pan and McCain stir and serve, with tender chicken included, for a complete meal.
So are you a chef?
Monsieur. Simply stir and serve. Ah, McCain, you've done it again.
You need hands to hold someone you care for. You need tender hands to guide them on their way. You need hands to show appreciation for the way we feel today.
What happened?
Sus amigos lo han traído en auto.
What?
Pero ahora ellos se fueron. Ahora está bajo nuestro cuidado. Está en una pequeña ciudad de Navarro, en España.
At 4 shots per second, it's faster than you are. Lumix, digital still cameras.
vitamin A and riboflavin for healthy skin and eyes, potassium and magnesium for nerve and muscle function, calcium and phosphorus for strong bones and teeth, carbohydrate and B vitamins for energy, zinc and protein to assist the immune system. Which is why you never stop needing the unique combination of 10 essential nutrients found naturally in dairy. Dairy, the food of life.
Sincerely, the new album from Foster and Allen.
That's the wonder of life.
Featuring 21 brand new favourite recordings.
In your Irish eyes, darling, save the last dance for me. And I think to myself,
Foster and Allen, the new album, Sincerely, out now.
You won't find my heroes in comic books. You'll find them on the beach. My heroes don't wear masks or capes. They wear red and yellow caps. My heroes don't fight for truth and justice. They battle the wind and waves. My heroes aren't the kind that save the world, but they did save my life.
Wednesday.
Mum, Dad has his own plans.
Up on the Whitsundays.
We can all go to the Whitsundays.
Is this farewell to a family?
Let's go. I never thought this would happen.
No, I could see it coming a mile off.
McLeod's Daughters, 7:30 Wednesday on 9.
This AFL coverage is proudly sponsored by Holden, Drive On, Duracell and TAC. If you drink then drive, you're a bloody idiot.
Continuing on their merry way, the Cats, the young Cats from Geelong Town, 15-6, 96, a 65-point lead over Fremantle, 4-7-31. Goal kickers, and well, as you would imagine, the Cats have had a few of them already. Multiples to Riccardi, Graham, Ablett, Kingsley and Cameron Mooney coming on during the game. Ronnie Burns has a single, and the sorry tale of Fremantle at the moment, 4 only. Jeff Farmer with 2. Longmuir and Crode 1 apiece. Well, Michael Roberts has the Geelong assistant coach, Alan McConnell.
Well, Alan, Ronnie Burns, we've seen him walking off now. He's in track pants. How's he?
Yeah, look, he's a little bit tight in the legs, but he's okay for us to come back on if we need him. So we're just going to rest him up at this stage, given that we're up 10 goals, and hopefully he'll be right to go for us again next week.
Well, huge win last week and up 10 goals. You wouldn't want the boys to have a lapse, would you?
No, look, we really want to win every quarter, every contest we're in, and so we'd be disappointed if we don't come home with a wet sail.
And your little midfield group, James Bartell, we hate to individualise, but he's the top possession ball getter.
Yeah, look, he's a great kid and just loves the contest and loves getting the footy, and yeah, he's doing a great job at this stage.
And Glenn Kilpatrick, hamstring gone, a couple of weeks?
Yeah, not sure how long, but it appears though he's done a hammer years.
Okay, mate.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Robbo. Well, the other game going on this afternoon is at Colonial Stadium between Carlton and the Kangaroos, and at the moment it is the Kangaroos by 7 points. 7-8-50 lead up Carlton, 6-7-43. Just about ready to start here for the last quarter. Dennis Committee.
James Bartell, 20 possessions, 15-6 plays 4-7. All about pride now as far as the Dockers are concerned, all about percentage as far as the Cats are concerned. Good bounce to start proceedings. King won it down. Bartell, his 21st, only centre-half forward. Mooney took a very good grab. Low down.
That goes against the trend, Dennis. Centre bounces. Geelong just 4. And Fremantle have won 13. They make that 5 now to Geelong. Around the ground, though, they've slaughtered Freo in all the other clearances.
Here's Mooney, 53 metres out. High ball. They'll compete about 3 metres off the line. Fell in front. Riccardi spelt danger. So too Lord. Keeps it alive. White back towards Bartell, close to the boundary line, gets the hand pass away. Oh, in trouble was Corey on one knee, gave it to Ablett. Crowd comes alive.
He's kicked it. He's kicked it.
No, I think there's a free kick, isn't there? The ball is coming back. The goal umpire is poised. The crowd are booing. It's going to be a Geelong free kick, I think, outside the 50. Well, you try and do your best, Hayden Kennedy is thinking. And what do they do to you? That's a free kick. You played on no advantage. Well, I suppose the ultimate advantage is when your team kicks a goal. Take it off the scoreboard. Here's Corey, a centering kick. Mooney is down there. And now they really start to go to town. Coops to Carter, Farmer. Farmer around the outer side, kicks down towards half forward. What if the Dockers get a goal here? The ultimate in a non-advantage situation. Walker, Troy Longmuir. Umpire Kennedy needs to blow his whistle.
Don't even look at it.
He needs to blow his whistle and pull it back. It's a goal.
The Amy man's in the house already.
Don't be so nosy.
They've offered them a hotel for the night.
Which hotel?
If required, in an emergency, Amy can arrange temporary accommodation for you.
Oh, what a sensational first half, and I'll tell you what, it's going to get even better in the second. You wouldn't miss it for $1 million. This has got to be the game of the season. It's been just unbelievable.
What a Carlton, thanks.
Hayden Kennedy had to get James Walker for going too far. Yep. Admittedly only 3 steps, but gee, they were big steps. It's 15-6 to 5-7. King directs it down. Bartel again, could have been kicking in danger twice from Bell. Down towards half forward. Wojcinski's over the footy. Spills across to Hazelby eventually. Kicks inside the 50. Crowd battles with King. He's outnumbered. Harley won it eventually. Pavlich, can he keep it in? Yes, he can. Hard against the 50. How will it bounce? Scarlett backed himself against the bouncing ball. Kicks it back towards half forward. It's knocked away by Pavlich. Out of bounds.
Once again, Justin Longmuir was caught behind Scarlett, who read the ball better. It was a mongrel kick coming in from Pavlich, and he was just left 4 metres behind. He's got to be involved mentally, even if the ball's 50 metres away.
Hazelby combines with Cook to Cunningham. Chance here for the Dockers. Up one-handed with Simmons. Pushed it away aggressively to Clark. Well played. Harley and Scarlett back there. They've done that all afternoon. Bartel, another possession. Hugs the boundary line with the kick. Lord can't keep it in. And the boundary throw-in at the interchange gates.
Well, the Cats looking down the barrel at their 3rd win in a row. They haven't won three games in a row since rounds 5, 6 and 7 in year 2000. So suddenly finding their feet, this young list. A few players around the 30 to 60 game mark as well in terms of the experience. So things are looking good for them.
King knocked it down to Ling. And it's out of bounds. I'm not going to say it. Boundary throwing on the wing there, but you're quite right. 15-6, 5-7. King battles with Simmons, falls at the back this time. Pavlich throws it on the boot towards half forward. Foster, Bartel, well played. Graham, cross half back to midfield. Pavlich, no easy mark. That ball coming at an odd angle, and Pavlich did well. One grab in the hand.
Static forward line up ahead. Forced to go out very wide.
Brown. It's gone out of the game. Started pretty well. Centering kick. Good mark, almost to Harley. Just spilled it at the last moment. Could have been pushed in the back as well. No free kick and a ball up about 35 metres out, directly in front of the Dockers' goal. Tom Harley's had a very good afternoon.
He's done well on Trent Grove, 30.05 last week. One thing you say about Trent, he's a big body. He could work harder in the defence. Of his whole stats last year, he was only credited with 1 sticking tackle for the entire season.
King thumped it wide. Bell lacking support. Should be holding the ball, I would have thought. No. A lenient umpire comes across to bounce it.
Well, they're playing for the history books at the moment, the Dockers. They've still got to kick 1 more goal to only equal their worst ever score against Geelong. Here it comes.
Simmons, 15 metres out, is missed.
Too soon.
Or has he? Yes, he has.
Did he have to play it?
Might have been touched in the flight. But it's been a down day for Troy Simmons. He was on fire the last fortnight, and look forward to coming down here and for him to take up the challenge. But it's a missed opportunity. It is only round 5. They've got a lot of further opportunities to produce these young Dockers, but they're getting shown the way by an even more younger Cattery.
Bartell it was. He kicked to half forward after the long kick in from Graham. Coops rebounds the ball to half forward for the Dockers. Cook, he's tried hard, as he always does. Comes back to Bell, needs a kick, Bell does, down towards half forward. Crode storms up, gathers the bouncing ball, fires it at Pavlich. Pavlich does pretty well to control it under the circumstances, surrounded by Cats. Harley got it to Clark. Clark breaks away from right half back towards half forward. Mooney in front, knocked away by Coops. Robbing the pack is Scholl. Kicks it down towards half foot. How will it bounce? McManus did pretty well. Got a hand to it. Lord, always there though, clever. Got it across to Mooney. Mooney steps around Walker. Runs inside the 50. Half smothered. It wanders down towards full forward. Working in front down there was Kingsley. Still Kingsley. Tied up by McManus. Is he holding the ball? Brown won it. Nothing doing. And the favourite umpire goes across to adjudicate. Only dartboards in Geelong. There's the bounce. Ablett dragged down. Pushed across the line by Parker. Kingsley's boot was there or thereabouts as well. And we'll have a throw in.
Well, Hayden couldn't have called a holding the ball on young Gary Ablett then that quick either, could he?
It was just bad luck all around, wasn't it? It's like the Bermuda Triangle down there for Hayden Kennedy, this area of the ground at the moment. Hooked behind by King. Dragged down, I thought Ablett. No free kick. Look at that pack around the ball. Corey, straight up. It's drifted about 15 metres. Corey goes again, slaps it towards the boundary line. And it will be tossed in.
Not a bad place to be as a forward. The boundary line throw in 5 metres around from the point post these days almost goes, or basically goes to the front of the goal square. It's a dangerous spot.
Tossed in, King grabs it, shoots at goal and kicks it behind.
I think it's a push-off or a hold on the infringement there.
Yeah, it's coming back. Simmons will get the kick. We saw a rather pensive Ronnie Burns. Hopefully he's okay as far as the Cats are concerned. Just looking on, had his moment in the sun in the second term. Not much to that. Short one to Cook. Well, Ronnie with that big run down the outer side actually lost the ball. Don't often see that in the AFL. Here's Coops, forward of half back, kicks down towards half forward. Well done by Rook. Stepped around Farmer, took the mark, plays on towards the middle. Not a good effort though. Thumped away by Cunningham. Hazelby tries to get a hand pass across to support and Grover. White though chopped it off, gave it to Ling, and Ling finds Mooney. Not the worst of them this afternoon, Mooney.
It's been good, hasn't he?
Spots a lead, goes in that direction. Lord 25 metres out, hand passes away from himself. Really not intended for anybody.
Have some courage.
That's the least they can do down there. Boundary throwing, different umpire.
I just think that when you kick the ball directly across at the boundary line, it's as deliberate as if you handball it across the line.
Tossed in, down towards the forward pocket for the Cats, doing most of the attacking. Parker trying to come out with it, taken down by King. Umpire Humphrey Smith wants it again.
Well, this could be as good as the Dockers might be able to do for the rest of the afternoon. They were facing a 100-point loss at three-quarter time. Now 65 down. They might just choke it all up so that they don't get taken to the absolute cleaners. At the moment, they're being driven there. They're not there yet.
Let's go at it. In fact, Ablett came in from the side, wanted clean possession. Cook on the ground. Now Seagate surrounded. Gee, it's crowded down there. Coops running a free kick, and the umpire happy to grant one, I think, just to clear this up.
Well, it was in the triangle. It was never going the hoops way.
There's McManus up from half back, swings it out wide. Now a chance for the Dockers. Grover running hard down towards half foot. Pavlich is on in the middle. Comes back to Pavlich. He can take it and go. Measures his kick from 35 and misses.
And on the boundary line, Michael, another change.
Yes, Gary Ablett's just come off for a bit of a rest, and as we see, Darren Milburn also just resting that neck.
Scarlett to bring it in. 15-6 to 5-9. Scarlett for distance. Crow juggles the mark. 60 metres out. Short one. Pavlich. The old 7-point play. A chance to make amends here. Distance shouldn't be a problem for Matt Pavlich.
Well, if he gets this, if he shoots this goal here, Matthew Pavlich, he takes, well, one consolation is he'll take Fremantle past their lowest ever score against Geelong.
Oh, don't tell him that.
You reckon he'll choke?
Well, no, but puts the pressure on, doesn't it?
There's no blue in his jumper. That was Friday night.
Pavlich, 45 metres out. Kicks another behind.
43 points is their lowest ever score against Geelong. 6-7, 43. Scored in 1997. And indeed, since they joined the competition 5 years ago, this is their 6th season, they are the team that's won the least amount of games, the Fremantle Dockers, of everyone in the competition. Collingwood hotly pursuing them, although they're starting to turn it around at the moment.
Bell, good mark for the little man from the kick-off. Got it to Simmons, who comes back looking for Brown.
Go on.
Brown runs inside the 50. Corey missed him, didn't tie him up, and Brown swings it left. A spate of behinds for the Fremantle Dockers. He's had a good afternoon, the young man.
It's an interesting formation there, Jared.
Yeah, huddle, they're all breaking. Dockers got the zone defence. Peter Riccardi going straight down the middle. Great to see.
Looking for King, and from the side Simmons. And the mark is paid to Simmons.
Medhurst, he's seen him too late.
Goes to Cunningham, about 52 metres out. Cunningham, who kicked that late goal against the Saints a couple of weeks back from long range, needs to do it again. He'll take a very good kick. 55 metres out, gets onto this one, gives it a ride, and I think it's cleared the pack down there, has it? It's a goal.
My grandmother can kick longer than that! Kick it straight up the guts! Sweet! Oh, how big is it, umpire? You should be playing in the Magoos, you clown! Your career is going down the toilet.
The football isn't the only place to have a cheap conversation. Choose Primus Telecom and you'll score cheap phone and internet rates. Call Primus Telecom on 1300 85 0000.
Get off him!
15-6, plays 6-11. 96 to 47. Wonderful long-range bomb there from Ben Cunningham.
You see the umpire there, Derek Humphrey-Smith, he spoke to the wingers on this side of the screen saying, I'm coming back out that way, don't run into me.
King knocked it down, stolen by Bell. Walker lays it off. Coops goes down towards right half forward. Foster worked his way in front. Look at that ball spin on its point. Coming through is White, got it from Bartell. Goes back. Corey across the ground, setting shoulder task, almost a clever mark. He's outnumbered 2 to 1, and he was on the deck. So Farmer comes away 65 metres out, pulls it back. Pavlich in front. Well, the man behind should have done more to keep the opponent out. He got a fist on that one to knock it away from Pavlich. Down goes Rook, down goes Corey. We've got a whistle 55 metres out. And a little fire in the game, and that's what we need at this late stage.
I don't know if the runners got out there and told the Fremantle boys nobody lays a good tackle. They're not in the team next week, something along that nature, but they've turned their intensity around in the last 5 minutes. He's going to try and play on here. No, didn't open for him.
He's holding the ball, was it? Prior opportunity, was it? There's McManus, 35 metres out, snaps down towards full forward. And the reliable one, Tom Harley, gets in the row, takes the mark on his chest. To Scarlett, up from the back pocket. Scarlett will kick towards the wing. So pitch in no man's land, hold it bounce, obligingly for Coops and the Dockers. He breaks away, kicks back inside the 50, Foster camped in front, knocked away by Longmuir. White's hand pass went a couple of metres. Foster on his knees did brilliantly. Harley's away, nothing to kick to. Carr favoured by that kick. Harley under pressure was looking for the boundary line. He was knocked off balance. As a result, the kick didn't go where he wanted it to. Now it's Walker. Seagate has to wait as the hand pass went behind him. Seagate goes off a step, sets it up. Medhurst works in front, didn't fly. Knocked away by Scarlett. Rubbing the pack is Farmer. Farmer 35 metres out, lines up, and he too has missed to the left-hand side.
Not far off it though, Jeff. He's working to try and get some form in front of the goals. And, well, if there is a positive omen for Fremantle supporters, Dermott, St Kilda were flogged here last week. They came out and almost it was the biggest upset in the history of the game last night. And with only got half the side, they nearly toppled the Swans. They take on Essendon next week.
Scholl paddling towards the boundary. Does well. He's been classy today, although that kick not the best effort. Socket off the ground by Grover. Rook, Clark, through the wing, down towards half forward. Penetrating kick inside the 50. Mooney almost. Awkward bounce down there for Coops.
That's right.
There it is. Wait for the whistle. McManus slips away. Nicely done. Carr. Nobody to kick to around the outer side apart from Walker in short. Walker's got it on his own defensive 50. Medhurst demanding the ball now. Slipped away from his man. Eventually it gets there. Medhurst virtually on right centre wing. Needs a kick towards centre half forward now, but he goes very wide. The anvil is up. Couldn't hang on. Over the top, Wojcinski knocks it away, and it's out of bounds.
Just a poor shot selection there, isn't it? To go out wide there. A chip kick to a 50-50.
Just having a look at the anvil, Doom. Do you think he's working hard enough across that half-forward line?
I think he's run out of puff today after about quarter time, but he's had a few teammates.
Kick towards the outer side from Rook. McManus. Still McManus. Right half back towards half forward. Knocked forward by Corey. The hand pass from Brown to no one in particular. Now a chance for Cunningham. Wojcinski, still Wojcinski, knocks it across to support. At close quarters, Clark got it to Ling. Ling, a very good kick to midfield. Scholl waiting for it to bounce. Too clever by half, really. Trying to hook it back, I think, for the big man Chambers. Leading in the race, McPhee. He's at half back, lays it off. Seagate comes back to Coops. Coops to Seagate. Fattening the stats. Seagate to midfield. In from the side, Lord. Missed it. With pace on the ground, Riccardi did brilliantly, got the crumb. Bartel got it away to Clark, 60 metres out. Clark long down towards full forward. Kingsley goes back with Parker, and Parker can't believe it. Look at that. But he's an honest man, behind.
Fattening the stats is an understatement. If you have a look at it, Freo are suffering from statistical obesity there. They've got exactly the same amount of kicks and handballs as the side that are leading them by the best part of 10 goals, 8 goals.
And Humphries.
Geelong
short.
43 this quarter 4 and Fremantle 61, but over the match it's Fremantle just as midget in front.
Meanwhile, back at the match, Simmons hand passes away to Cunningham, and Cunningham has missed to the other side this time. They've got it surrounded down there.
Nonetheless, Chris Connolly be aware that a lot of teams, especially when they're underage in terms of what's the average for league football, you tend to start off the following week the way you've finished off the previous one, and a finish here would be important for the Fremantle Dockers, and they're finding plenty of it. For the match, Geelong have had 264 stats and Fremantle 286.
Well, if you're right, I'm looking at my schedule for next week. Out of the back pocket, Corey towards centre half back. King was up, lays it off. This is Harley towards Ablett on the wing. Awkward bounce. Carr and Ablett. Not a lot of conviction there. And the free kick is going to Carr
against Ablett.
That's a no-no down here.
Who was the umpire?
There's Clark. I don't know who it was, too. Number 7. No names, we just pick numbers.
No, I didn't say his name.
Chambers. Got it across to support. Here's Ablett on the outer side. Ablett, Wojcinski. Involved out there as well was Quarry initially. Long kick inside the 50. McManus goes back. Coops looking to Shepherd, suddenly fell over Coops. Made it hard for McManus. Riccardi working in a phone box, hard against the line. Pulls it back towards the kickoff line, and Parker does well. And he's had enough of Kingsley this afternoon in more ways than one.
13th possession for Parker.
In front, McPhee. Scholl hasn't got the footy, and finally the triangle. Geelong get a free kick. He's been good, Scholl. Centering kick. Graham has marked 40 metres out. Ben Graham, 1 goal this afternoon, has played at both ends.
Just have a look at Bartel there, Dennis. He just knows that it wasn't the place to be. He knew that one of his tall forwards would have been leading. That's why the ball was kicked there, and he had the awareness to look up.
Missed a few from right on the 50. And this one just tapers off to the left-hand side. The official attendance this afternoon at School Stadium, 20,075. The 50th game for Mark Thompson. Mark it down as a win. 15-8 plays 6-13.
And a good place to be. Plenty of atmosphere. The bleachers are full. The home side's at a win. They'll go on home happy, and we're looking forward to the next outing here at school. And what a turnaround, Dermot, since the new name.
That's right.
Undefeated, running at 100% at the moment.
There's Coops. That'll get the Dockers thinking. Up towards half-back. Ling. Milburn. A chance for a late goal for the Cats. Kingsley.
I'm sure Brian Cook's already working on a sponsorship name for that particular flank. Something to do with a triangle. There'll be something in it for them, Dennis.
Absolutely. Ken Kingsley going at his 3rd. He's been lively all day and created a lot of headaches for the Dockers. Very deliberately, it's just swinging away violently over the last 10 metres right to left. Another behind. We've seen a lot of behinds in this final term. Coops. Well, a down day for the Dockers after they promised so much last week when they played very well after quarter time against the Tigers. Maybe with the young side, it's 1 forward, 1 back.
I reckon it's fair to say, Dermot, that the home ground advantage for Geelong is now as significant, or probably the most significant of any of the Victorian clubs. The MCG has lost a lot of its home ground advantage, given that everyone plays there a lot. Coming down to this ground, particularly for most of these kids, for Freo, who've rarely seen it, it's a significant factor.
It's out of bounds in the right full forward pocket for the Dockers, who trail by 50 points, 99-49. So nothing much has happened in this final term. The margin was 65 at three-quarter time. They have managed to erode a bit of that.
I think Sydney and Skilled Stadium now are the 2 most oddly shaped grounds compared to any others in the league, and they do give a bit of an advantage to the home team because they, well, obviously know the complexities of playing it a little bit better than their opposition on the day.
Ling to half forward, or the leading half forward more correctly, who marked it inside the centre square. Mooney to Scholl, kicks it down towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Kingsley yet again. 55 metres out, centres it. The Suns a problem. In from the side, Bartel realised that Graham wasn't going to go, so that ball suddenly became his. And he's 20 metres out directly in front. How many possessions he's had? 27 coming up for his 28th. How about that? Wonderful last week. He was the nomination for the Rising Star, and he hasn't missed a beat this afternoon. And you're right, too. He does look a bit like Mark Bairstow, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And he's gone back and kicked another one.
In Timor, you know, we'd drive down the road and the kids would run out and they'd wave at us. So we thought we'd do something good for them and give something back. Found an orphanage that was one of the poorest in East Timor and made swings for them, chairs, tables, made a seesaw, which was good. They'd never seen one before and, you know, dug it in and the kids loved it. And I tell you what, it makes your day.
15-10. Was it 16-9? Oh, on the scoreboard here, we're showing 16-9. We'll stay with that. We've been right all day.
It's going to be tough come end of season when they're looking for a rising star, because the crop coming through is just extraordinary. We've seen Judd, we've seen Beltales just in this weekend alone, perhaps getting among the votes.
Hodge yesterday making his debut. Here's Walker meantime. Down towards half forward, juggled by Simmons. Towards the boundary line, Walker comes again. Bartel 8 disposals in this term, so he's finished strongly.
That wing over there, you see how that ball just trickled over the boundary? I don't know about you, Jared. Always thought that it was a downhill slope, and if the ball was ever running away from you, thought, I've got to get to it, it always ran out of bounds on that wing.
They got magnets over there, didn't they?
It was like Sevi, what was his name? The golfer who called I'm thinking of the wrong one. When Lee Trevino describing the putting greens at Royal Melbourne, like putting downstairs of Lino and trying to stop the ball halfway down. It just forever ran away from you out on that wing.
Two Hispanics. Bull on the other side will have a bounce.
Right,
dying seconds of the game.
Good to see the coaching panel enjoying the afternoon too.
105 to 49.
His expression doesn't change whether he's 10 in front or 10 behind.
Chambers must get a free kick there. Simmons leaping over the top. Hand on the shoulder. Scholl, a lot of possession. Goes to Milburn. We're down to 12 seconds. Can they get a last goal? Yes, they can. Graham runs it along the ground. Not normally his forte.
They'll hardly work bringing the ball back to the centre for a bounce, but we'll do it anyway, Dermot, just for the heck of it. With 1 second of play remaining, you'd reckon that Ben would have read the script a bit better and just taken an extra couple of steps. But good finish for him. He started in attack, went to defence for a little while, and he's finished up with a few goals for the afternoon, as have a lot of players here for Geelong.
Wait for the siren. We're down to 1 second, so the Rucks may not touch it.
Good call.
That's a bit of a tease. So Geelong, in grand fashion, win this one, and their form outstanding at the moment. 17-9, 111. A romp over the Dockers, 6-13-49.
Yes, a 62-point margin there. Tom Harley, who was fantastic today, took on Trent Crode on the back of Crode's 5-goal winning form last week and pretty well beat him hands down for the afternoon. Carr on screen, Gary Ablett Jr. there. There's Tom Harley once again, being congratulated by the rookie Rook. And there's 3 umpires you can, the 3 umpires are coming off the ground. That's the boos you can hear. Parker and McManus. Tried hard, Parker.
Geez, it's a tough job, the umpiring.
A record margin for the winning Cats over the Dockers. 62 points. Let's go down to Michael Roberts.
Yes, Dermot, I've got James Bartel with me, and James, this is easy stuff. I've seen 2 weeks and you've been a little bottler. Sensational.
Oh, it's not easy, mate, but it helps when you got the senior players playing really well and getting to some good form, and it makes the game a lot easier when they're firing.
Obviously enjoying your footy.
Yeah, for sure, especially down in a big crowd like this, getting behind you makes you lift an extra 10%.
And where do you like it? In the middle, around the forward line, snuck in for a couple of goals?
Well, I'm not really known as a forward. I think I just had a bit of a rest up there, but down in the midfield, mate.
Enjoying it down here. All the boys are coming across now. It's fantastic. A change of name down here and a change of form.
Yeah, it's just, I wouldn't say the name's got to do with it, but everyone's just been working hard and just starting to get some results.
Go and join the fellas and give a wave to the crowd. Well done.
There we go. James Bartel, and see some of his form there from Bell Park, and then later on the Geelong under-18 competition. There he is. He's a good player, Jared.
Yeah, he just looks like a genuine in and under creative midfielder who's just going to work and work. And hopefully for Geelong, he'll have a 12 or 15-year career, and maybe including something that's eluded every other generation for about 3 decades.
Well, it was a 62-point margin here at Skills Stadium as we watch the Cats go up their race. We're going to take a break and be back with the final washer after this.
The votes have been counted.
The outfits chosen.
And the excitement is building as Australian television prepares for its night of nights.
Join host Wendy Harmer for the 44th Annual TV Week Logie Awards, 8:30 tonight, exclusive to Channel 9.
My grandmother can kick longer than that! Kick it straight up the guts! Sweet! Oh, how big is it, umpire? You should be playing in the Magoos, you clown! Your career is going down the toilet.
The football isn't the only place to have a cheap conversation. Choose Primus Telecom and you'll score cheap phone and internet rates. Call Primus Telecom on 1300 85 0000.
Get off him!
Win a Cadbury movie party for you and 100 friends to see Star Wars Attack of the Clones plus special Cadbury prize packs. Watch Return of the Jedi this Sunday night on Channel 9 with a block of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate and answer the question on screen. Wouldn't it be nice to win with Cadbury?
Next time you visit your local Coles,
look out for a change we've made. These.
You'll find hundreds of them right across the store.
So, what does everyday low price mean?
Well, it means extra savings more often. Because all these quality everyday low price products
Are at great value prices every day.
So when you notice a change here,
You'll also notice the change here.
It's an absolute fact. You don't have to get your new car serviced at dealerships to keep your new car warranty. Why pay more? Just bring your new car to UltraTune for service. And it won't affect your new car warranty. Not one iota. Fair income, this is big news for new car owners. UltraTune delivers top quality manufacturer's handbook services, plus a nationwide warranty, plus 24-hour roadside recovery. And we'll save you money. I guarantee it.
For years, your skin has been changing. Say stop. New Garnier Synergy Stop, our first daily moisturizing treatment that helps fight the signs of aging. With the power of pure retinol and pure vitamin C, its multi-action formula helps reduce the appearance of first wrinkles and visible pores, smooth imperfections, and illuminate your complexion. Now that's something to celebrate. New Synergy Stop from Garnier. Trust them. They're experts.
Look what we've done to the place, Ma.
Look how we've doubled the space.
Good on you, son. We tried to do it ourselves.
But we needed some help. Done well.
And we got it all a mite of 10. Ben? 10 out of 10. Look what we've done to our place.
Gee, I really swore sticking up that rotten door.
Which reminds me, you've still got my plane, Jane.
Look what we've done to our place.
At Coles,
look out for a change we've made.
right across the store.
All these quality products
Are at great value prices every day.
So when you notice a change here,
You'll also notice the change here.
Last week on Millionaire, expectations were high.
So how much do you want him to bring home?
At least 500.
At 125, he sure came close.
You'd be halfway to satisfying your wife's needs.
An all-new Millionaire, 8:30 Monday on 9.
victorious Geelong Football Club today by 65 points, 17-9, 111 points over Fremantle Dockers, 6-13-49. And, well, Jared, they had a few problems there today, the Dockers. They're not in total trouble for the season. They're building in the right direction, but today was one that they might just shove away and say, let's forget that.
Well, they've got to have a look at the tape, Dermot. They'll go back to about the 25-minute mark of the last quarter. I think first quarter, Simmons kicked a cross goal. That turned into a goal of Geelong. Brendan Fuster centred the ball. That turned into another goal for Geelong, and the floodgates opened pretty quickly.
Well, let's go down to Michael Roberts in the victorious Cats rooms. He has the star, Ronnie Burns, with him.
Not a bad place to be in the forward line of the Cats the last couple of weeks, especially, Ronnie.
It's been good. All the boys have been doing their job and kicking goals, so very hard to get in there and kick goal, mate. Last week I didn't kick it and just got one today, so the guys are just running really nice.
Running around in the track pants, you've got the hip pretty well iced up. What's happening into that?
Yeah, we might just solidify that link there before we go back down there. Look, they did have a few problems. I thought they had problems up forward, the Dockers. You made mention of some of the errors there first, Jared, but Crode and Longmuir, the two key forwards, had 13 possessions between them.
Yeah, they did, Dermot, but I'm not sure you could blame the forward structure too much. The ball got in there and maybe they weren't hard enough at it, but the way it was delivered in, it was just too slow. They dominated the centre clearances, the Fremantle Dockers, but you wouldn't know it. They didn't get the ball and get it in quickly. Long lead to one of the tall players on the lead. It was a bomb. There was plenty of crowds, and they found it difficult to get possession with a genuine chance at shooting a goal.
Yep. Well, the little man out the back is pedalling harder this time. Hopefully we'll have Michael Roberts and we can hear him this time with Ronnie Burns.
Thanks, Dermot. And Ronnie, well, you've got the hip pretty well iced up. What about that? What's an update?
Oh, look, it's all right. Just a little light strain, but nothing to worry about. Probably be right next week, so just a bit of a cramp, mate, so should be right next week.
10 goals up at three-quarter time. Is it hard to sort of push on and smash sides like you did last week? Was it hard to do it 2 weeks in a row?
Oh, look, they're a good side, Fremantle. They're always, in the last quarter, you've probably seen they come back a bit. So, look, we're just going along, sticking to our game plan, and you're not going to smash sides like last week. So, we're just travelling all right, Robbo.
Well, you've got to think next week, and it's Brisbane up there, obviously yardsticks, and, well, if you're going to kick along, it'd be good to win away.
Oh, look, they're a good side. They're obviously the premiers, and, they're at the front there. So, look, we're just going to go over there and try our best, mate, and try and kick as many goals as we can and do the right stuff. So, we're going to play them up there, so they're going to be very hard to beat. So we'll just see how we go.
Thanks, Ronnie, and good luck with the hip.
Yeah.
Ronnie Burns there with Michael Roberts. Robbo looks like he's going to the Logies already. He's all dressed up.
Speaking of the Logies, normally we just spend 2 minutes and throw to Gary or Eddie. Is there any sort of coincidence that the Logies are on?
And they're not there? Logies. Yeah, they know where they want to be. Let's take a look at the second half Geelong goals.
Well, there's plenty of them, and this was the start. Just a big kick, Dermot. You said, I think it came off Scholl one step, and you said that this was indicative of the lack of pressure. Riccardi went up, took a brave mark, but there was no one around him. He went back and barreled one, and Graham bangs it in. Another pretty tame mark, goes back and kicks a pretty fair goal.
Nonetheless, contested mark for Cameron Mooney, and he took 4 or 5 of those today. And you'd think he'd go further ahead now in the contested mark count of the league's tally.
You've been keen on that stat all day.
Oh, look, he's done very well, Cameron Mooney. It might be the year he comes of age. He's probably let himself down with some foolish acts in the past, but he's always had talent. And maybe he might come on with that. 4 contested marks today for him. Geelong, 3 goals to Benny Graham, 2 each to Ablett, Kingsley, Riccardi, Mooney and Bartel. And for Fremantle?
Well, had a couple of Troy Longmuir's gone forward 2 times now in 2 weeks and kicked some goals. They've trialled him on the back line, but he looks pretty capable up forward. Yep. Jeff Farmer has come up with a couple of goals also, but still not playing his very best form at the present time. So there's a bit to look forward to for Freo, but they'd be bitterly disappointed, Docker supporters, after today.
Yeah, you'd think so. 62-point margin to the Cats here at Skills Stadium. We'll be back after the break with the votes. You're watching AFL on 9.
Being on 60 Minutes in Australia, this is heaven.
Do you feel you've made it?
It's incredible. How lucky I am.
Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back.
Overton.
I'll be back.
60 Minutes.
Oh, fake, but then...
Also, The Urban Nightmare, Robbery with Violence, the chilling confessions of an armed robber.
Just give me the money and I'm out of here.
When Toyota presents 60 Minutes, tonight, 7:30.
The Duracell Alkaline Battery, long-lasting with lots of bite. Duracell Copper Top, long-lasting alkaline.
To help your kids grow up healthy and strong, they need 3 serves of dairy every day. Just a glass of milk, a piece of cheese, and a tub of yogurt provides the unique combination of 10 essential nutrients found naturally in dairy. Have your kids had their 3 serves of dairy today? Dairy, the food of life.
It's got to be perfect. Too many people take second best, but I won't take anything less. It's got to be, yeah, perfect. It's got to be, yeah.
Worth doing? With Dulux Wash and Wear 101.
Every time we buy something, we're making a decision. If it's Australian made, we're deciding to keep our factories working. If it isn't, we're not. If it's Australian made, we're helping create jobs. If it isn't, we're not. If it's Australian made, the future's looking good for young Australians. If it's not, then it's less secure. You can be certain it's Australian made by looking for the Australian made logo.
Wonder White, twice the fibre of regular white bread. That'll make it twice as easy to find.
Wonder White, twice the fibre.
Nothing. Wait a sec.
Twice the fibre.
Nothing.
Wonder White,
No.
twice the fibre. Twice the fibre. Wonder White.
They've done it to us again.
Wonder White, twice the fibre of regular white bread.
Police are targeting drink drivers.
Cheers.
Booze buses are out for longer. Unmarked police cars will stop you. Everybody pulled over will be breath tested. The police are out in force and will be tough on anybody at .05 or over.
Ben Graham there kicking the final goal of the day. Final scores. Geelong 17-9, 111 points to the Fremantle Dockers, 6-13-49, a 62-point win, Jared Healy.
It was, but I'm not sure the match stats would have shown it, or even the individual statistics. We know that James Bartell got plenty of it individually, but look at the match stats. They're down on kicks, Geelong. They're slightly up on handballs, but you can see the marks. The Dockers were just poking it around, knocking up, getting those little marks from 20 or 30 metre kicks. Clearances, well, they fought back there, the Dockers, after half-time, but still trailed 30-28. But the centre breaks was the one area where they have given themselves an opportunity, and that's a great strength to go into next week's game against the Bombers over there, and they've got a pretty good record against the Bombers at Subi.
Yep, and also the Cats against the Brisbane Lions, 106 handballs. That'll give the Lions a chance to tackle them. They might have to address that for a little bit of a different game plan. Let's have a look at the Lou Richards medal votes, awarded by me. Jared?
Oh, yourself, Dermot. Well, I thought James Bartel was a pretty fair one. As we said, he got plenty of possessions, but you like Ken Kingsley's game almost as much as Dennis.
Yeah, well, he was really good. I thought he led up the ground very well and moved back with the flight of the ball. Peter Riccardi knocked up getting it, and Cameron Mooney 6 to him also. But Bartel, I thought, was the best on the ground. And the winner of the Lou Richards medal, Jared, will win the Holden Player of the Year, and they will receive the magnificent 5.7 litre CB8 Holden Monaro worth $60,000. Now you watch the Sunday Footy Show for weekly updates to see who's leading the race for the Holden Monaro. Monaro is back. Game over.
She's got a good memory. The way you just can do that is magnificent.
Absolutely. The progressive score from Colonial Stadium. As we speak, it's Carlton 9-9-63, trailing the Kangaroos by 11-77. So, well, that's the story inside the Dockers room at the moment. Let's see where they fare on the list of 16.
Yeah, well, at the top, despite their loss, the Brisbane Lions still command top position. Melbourne, they have turned it around again. It is an even year, of course. They're up the top, along with Geelong. Isn't it great that there are some sides coming from the bottom to the top? Port Adelaide, great victory last night. Essendon, West Coast also coming from the bottom of the ladder. Let's hope they can continue their great form. Adelaide and Collingwood make up the top 8 there, Dermot.
Yep.
Right down the bottom, the Western Bulldogs still looking for their first victory. Carlton, that match in dispute at the present time, and lots to look forward to next weekend.
Tough times ahead for the Doggies pushing up the table. Jared, good afternoon.
See you later. Have fun at the Logies.
Yeah, we'll try. 62-point win here for the Cats in round 5. Until next week, this has been AFL on 9.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
AFL Premiership Season 2002, brought to you by its premier partner, Carlton and United. And telecar sponsors, Amy, Cadbury Dairy Milk, Duracell, and Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL.
7:30 Tuesday on 9. Judge Amy's dependable mother goes missing.
We have very real fears for her safety.
A family in crisis on Judging Amy.
At 8:30.
What do you got?
One thing you don't want to find at a murder scene.
2 bodies, 2 suspects, 1 crime.
You're watching CSI.
CSI.
Following at 9:30, 2 boys pretending to be crime bosses will end in disaster on stingers.
We are the source of those pills.
3 dramas back to back, Tuesday on 9.
Tonight after 60 Minutes, Australian Television's Night of Nights. Join a host of stars and special guests for the 44th Annual TV Week Logie Awards.
Growing up in the town of Rathlin, you could believe that everything interesting happened somewhere else. That your dreams were just, well, dreams. There was a story that a kid's grandfather rescued a mermaid and received strange powers in return. But nobody really believed that. In Rathlin, it felt like your world ended at the harbor. But for one girl, everything was about to change.